Hey everybody, it's your pal Val back with another video. Today's topic is about AI image generation. If you are on social media, if you've been on social media the last couple days, you've seen a tremendous amount of Studio Ghibli style AI images of various memes and photographs and political figures and whatnot. Because apparently, I guess OpenAI Chat GPT, there's a new type of, they've leveled up on the image generation prompt stuff, and it looks amazing and it looks nearly flawless. Nearly flawless. I have seen a couple of errant extra fingers and such, but in general, it looks really amazing and it's exciting and wow, everything's great. Well, I mean, except for I guess the freelance artists and designers that I I looked at. I was looking at all those images, AI generated images, last couple days, and my first thought was like, wow, this looks really good. Like this is really flawless. Like this is amazing. And then my second thought was like, wow, like this is really going to gut the freelance art and design job opportunities because I used years ago I used to work as a freelance comic book editor, freelance comic book writer, independent writer, independent comic creator and such, and I knew that freelance art community space very well, especially for things that were like more like comic, cartoon, anime art related. Like there's a whole sort of space where like you can hire artists to do stuff for your personal projects, or small companies would hire these artists to make designs and such and such and such. And that was a whole thing, and that would often be like a important part of a freelance artist's income. These gigs. And I just looked at that Studio Ghibli stuff the last couple days, the OpenAI, and I was just like, geez, well, that's going to gut that. That's going to gut that. But the AI has already been gutting it. And this is not an anti-AI screed. Like, I don't have strong feelings of hate for AI. The AI just seems to be this the natural progress of things in human evolution. And that's maybe a full topic for another day, my esoteric woo-woo thoughts on that. But it just seems to be, it was like the next logical step, whether we liked it or not, was going to be what AI has become. But that said, still, it is going to take jobs. It has already taken jobs. Like for the last 5 years, I was into arts and crafts, and the last couple years, I noticed that like when I would order online certain like things for these arts and crafts stuff, like stickers or stationery or these different sort of odds and ends, more and more they they were made by AI. Like when I would get them in the mail, and I would get them in the mail, open them up, and look at them, I was like, oh, this was completely this design, this pattern was completely generated by AI, and you could tell like it would have the remnants on it. And this is becoming more and more prevalent over the last couple of years, to the point where I ordered a pack of gothic dumb gothic stickers and decals on Temu like a few months ago, and they were all AI generated, all of them. And this is the first time I've ever seen something like that, where it was just completely the whole thing. They just ran those different different designs and design ideas, just pulled it, just this and that. It was a completely AI generated, the entire decal set. And it was like, wow. And even with the flaws, they sold it with all the, like there are certain, they would have like a decal image of like a scroll or something, and the scroll would all have the words would be blah. That's always the giveaway, isn't it? What are the giveaways for AI? It's the extra fingers, and then everything will look great, but the text like on the signs on the buildings would be like emukulak and stuff like that. Like everything looks great. Like you do this like perfect, let's say like Disney image, and a realistic image, and then the text, this be like the stop sign would be pluck, and you'd be like, oh, this is the AI dreamland thing where all the letters are growing tentacles and whatever. But yeah, like what, and if you're a writer, your head's kind of on the chopping block for a lot of this stuff too. Like it's like if a chat GPT or Grok or whatever can like spit, like could spit out like within like a couple of seconds this perfect summary of some long white paper or something, and it can absolutely just pump out a bunch of blog posts on based on press releases and stuff like that for some of these websites. And I am absolutely sure they're already kind of doing this, and they're going to do more and more of it. They just are because they can, because it's just they are, and because they can. And so what do you do if you are a writer or an artist or a PR professional or any of the sort of things where your job might be um, threatened by this stuff? And then like what do you do if it's just like the economy is kind of like it's not quite a recession, but it's not great, and people are losing their jobs, a lot of them, which is what's going on, including me. But really, like I've known a lot of people who are losing their who are getting laid off and everything. So all this perfect storm. Like, what do you do now? By coincidence, I also used to be a career coach, life coach for people who wanted to get into doing art for a living and writing for a living and such. So I'm going to give you my 2 cents on it and my advice. So this isn't just a terribly dark, video. Um, the way that you have to approach it is you have to ask yourself, what do you do best? Like, like if Wolverine from the X-Men asks himself, like looks in the mirror and goes like, long, hard look in the mirror, Wolverine, Logan goes, what do I do best? Well, we know what he does best, right? He just snick it and everything. But what do you do best? What do you do best? What makes you special? You know, what makes you special? What are your passions? Like what are the topics and stuff? And this can be related to your day job, or it could be kind of not related to your day job, or it could be in this sort of weird place in between. What are those things? Define those things. How do you stand out? Like you have your resume and your LinkedIn and stuff like that, and that's like those are documents and data things, data sets that will have all the basic stuff that you need to put in there. But like what are your, what type of stuff, like, in terms of just like how can you spin that to something more unique? Or what can you add to it? Just a little touches of things that maybe weren't even your day job, but something that was really special, that this gives you that little added thing to stand out in a crowd of people all looking for work in this middle of this absolute technological revolution. How, because the AI can produce, a pretty good, probably pretty good article for a website. They can produce, this book cover and stationery stickers and God knows what else. But it can't be a whole ass human being. And I know it can try, and that could be, very interesting. It's like, like, I mean, God bless Max Headroom and everything, but it really can't be like a whole ass human being. You're a whole ass human being. What makes you stand out? How can you integrate your practical day job skills with the things that you love and yourself, putting yourself out there? How do you present yourself online, in your LinkedIn, in other media? Like, those are the things you really need to think about now, and whether you're an artist or a writer or tarot card reader or whatever, like those are the things, like the sort of, to think about. And people are doing that. I see them every day doing that. They're integrating all those things together to stand out. But it could be as simple as, you have your LinkedIn profile and you're saying, I did this, and that. And then you could, like, there could have been something like where you had I don't know, like you won first prize in an astronomy thing recently, or was interviewed for this thing, or you have a passion for this, you may want to add that where appropriate. Don't the old cliche. It's like, just be yourself, and then you show yourself, and and the person's like, no, don't show yourself. That's Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing. That's, what is it? He has a box of hornets, and then he loves knees. He's afraid of knees, and magnets is one of his biggest interests. So you may need to adjust that in terms of what job, or what you're trying to achieve. But the basic point is that that's like my number one bit of advice for you in this economy, in this changing job landscape. You really, take some time to really ask yourself these questions, like, how can I stand out? How can I present myself and sell myself as a unified whole in terms of just my interests, my work achievements, my skills, everything. How can I do that? So, and that's it. That's the video. I'm just giving some advice, and yeah, like it's just, it's like, it's so funny because it's like, like in the arts and crafts community, it's just like more and more I'm just seeing like the AI stuff get in there and get in there, and it's sort of like, I'm not angry at them. Like, I'm not, it doesn't give me like a panic or an anger. I mean, it's just interesting. It's just sort of going in everywhere. And the thing to keep in mind is that as much as the AI may anger you, and you have, and rightly so, there's tremendous there's just a tremendous swath of people out there who just don't care, who just don't care if it's AI generated or not. They think it's cool. They're fine with it. So again, that being said, you got to assess this current situation, in the workspace, in technology, and again, you got to ask yourself, what makes me stand out? Um, and okay, and that's it. So, thank you for listening, and I will talk to you later. Bye.